All right, guys, what is up? We are back after, of course, 2K pulled that vintage freezing that we love oh so much, that I miss dearly about last year's game. But we have returned. I think I needed a little bit of a minute to cool down after what we just saw anyway. New Trios Champions crowned, Mr. Extreme and Shane Ridley, without TZ Mass by their side, who missed his flight, defeating Damien and the Kent brothers to become the new Trios Champions. Now we move on in our second matchup of the evening. Some singles competition and a matchup that's, well, it got a little bit personal over Twitter these past couple of days. It's our first of 3 debuts tonight. Of course, later on in our co-main event, Eddie Larson debuts, taking on the also debuting William Sullivan. Right now, Jaden Shadow going to be going toe-to-toe with Andrew McKenzie. Andrew McKenzie saying he's going to show the entire NGW universe exactly why he is the next big thing at Jaden Shadow's expense, but Shadow saying, sorry kid, sorry to burst your bubble, but that just ain't gonna happen. Ooh, look at the dollar bills dropping down. Jaden Shadow been here since the start of NGW's reincarnation, but as of yet, he has been struggling to grab himself a victory, hoping to do so right here, right now. We get our first look at Andrew McKenzie. McKenzie been the talk of the town these past couple of days. A lot of people excited to see him in NGW and exactly what he can get done. Inside of that ring, this is an opportunity to show us all All right, here we go, my fine feathered friends. The action continues on. Jaden Shadow, Andrew McKenzie. 1-on-1. Referee Perry White rings the bell, and here we go. You can see right out of the gate that McKenzie has a pretty considerable. I didn't think this kid was so big, or maybe it's just that Jaden Shadow is on the smaller side. This is the first time, me personally, I'm getting a look at McKenzie. I can't tell you all that much about him and his background, but look at Jaden Shadow right there. Now, I wouldn't take away for a second how incredible of an in-ring competitor Shadow is. It's just that so far, his time in NGW, he hasn't been the better man. Opportunity after opportunity passing him by, and he doesn't want to let the same be said here today, but dang, what a clothesline right there. And the first pinfall attempt of the matchup quickly. McKenzie drops down into a lateral press. Only a 1 count. Shadow jumps right up to a knee. And McKenzie just firing shots. Stomp down to the chest now, and Andrew mocking, taunting Jaden to get back up to his seat, which he does, entering the challenge. Nice little head scissors, like Hurricane Rana type maneuver. Now an Irish whip, and Andrew rebounds off the ropes, caught on the rebound with a nice little roll through. And then a kick to the chest, gonna let it up to the 4th of July. Still to come, guys, up next, triple threat matchup, as we will see Chase Matthews, Will Ford, and Gary Reed vie for momentum and a Widowmaker. Wow, that's a big move for Jaden Shadow to be hitting there. And it only gets him a 1 count. Oh, hello, Alexa. Just randomly turning on there. Love it when she just starts speaking some random shit. Smashed into the corner, then tossed out to the center of the ring. Oh, there she goes again. And Andrew McKenzie feeling good about himself so far. Telling Jaden Shadow to suck it. Ooh, wow, a nice, these two are firing some big moves off at each other. The beginning of this match. Ain't wasting time with collar and elbows and side headlocks. Like I told you, the animosity between these two on Twitter the past couple of days has reached a high point. They have been waiting to get their hands on each other, and Andrew McKenzie now grabbing Jaden Shadow by the hair, just completely lifted him off his feet, a good couple of feet up into the air. Now a kick to the gut. Ooh, heel to the base of the skull, and then a forearm smash directly to the face. Andrew McKenzie not done right there, though. Jaden Shadow escapes a couple of well-placed elbows to the side of the head. What is up, Hellish? What is up, Heyman? Blessed for the gay bits. Elbows fired off to the temple. That gives McKenzie the room he needs, and there's a reason they call him the headbutt machine. Bam! And the third one busts Shadow wide open. 1, 2, go! Closing in on the 3, but it's not going to be enough. At least not right now. And Andrew McKenzie now almost doing like a war dance, marking his territory, if you will. What up, McKenzie? Just in time. Rake of the eyes. Jaden Shadow not afraid to bend the rules in his favor. Now goes for that single leg high knee of his, and obviously McKenzie did his homework. Sidesteps with a nice arm wrench now, and McKenzie to his feet as Shadow trying to build back up ahead of steam. Rebounds off the ropes. Pop up. Drop kick, double boots connecting to the chest, and Shadow is feeling it right now. McKenzie reeling. There's that single leg high knee. Second time is the charm, and no time wasted. Jaden with that butterfly DDT into the pin as well, but that's going to be a rope break. That shouldn't be a rope break, but Perry White does not call it luckily enough. McKenzie gets out on his own. It looked like a rope break at first, but then tries for a falling back elbow. McKenzie moves out of the way. The gallantry. Andrew McKenzie been putting on a banger here so far in his debut. He's a lot of maneuvers in his moveset target the hair. Trying to rip it right out of Jaden's head here. Again telling his opponent to suck it. Jaden again! Another single leg high knee. And wow, McKenzie just getting right back up like it didn't even phase him. And you can, oh, now he's going after that cut. Now Andrew McKenzie is getting vicious in his attack. Another wheelbarrow neck breaker. And Jaden looks to be on spaghetti legs. Andrew McKenzie knows it. Is he going to go? Oh, look at that. Taking a page out of Jaden Shadow's book with a butterfly DDT, the future shock, and McKenzie, no flies on him as he goes for maybe another trio of headbutts, but Jaden Shadow knew that it was incoming. Clutching big time to save himself. And now Jaden Shadow with the butterfly DDT again. That 1, 2, 3, and Jaden Shadow has just knocked off Andrew McKenzie in a high-octane back-and-forth matchup. Jaden Shadow gets his first victory in his NGW career at the expense of the debuting McKenzie. Have to keep in mind that Andrew McKenzie is 1 week removed from a pretty vicious backstage brawl with fellow newcomer Jacob Anderson, but he brought his A game. What a match with Jaden finally. Let's celebrate. gets a win. He's certainly not leaving the match without his wounds of war. Busted open pretty nasty. Something tells me Andrew McKenzie's not going to let that be the last laugh, though, after the way that they were going after each other on Twitter. The amount of flies in here. Kill me now. Yo, what up, 702 and Vic? Glad to have you join us. Hello, there we go. No, that would this tertiary main event here. After this, we still have 2 more days as Eddie Larson, technically his debut, takes on William Sullivan. And then in the main event, of course, guys, we find out who is next in line for a shot at the NGW Championship, a shot at Ryan Riley and his title when Joey Diaz takes on Jeremy Baltimore. But first, remember how he kicked off the show? New Trios Champions crown when Mr. Extreme and Shane Ridley, outnumbered after TZ Mass missed his flight, defeated Damian and the Kent brothers. The only reason they got that opportunity is because they had beaten these 3 men 2 weeks prior. And that unique opportunity match, well, now these 3 superstars vying for their own momentum. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that Mr. Extreme and really are the new champs. Mr. Extreme, truly got to give him MVP of the year. I mean, Shane Ridley, too. Not taking anything away from him, but Mr. Extreme, even more so. The superstars of NGW, baby, turning heads. And here comes the man who fancies himself the personification of perfection, Chase Matthews. Actually, these past few weeks been bumping heads with Shane Ridley. Tonight he takes a break from that, winning this triple threat match for any one of these superstars will boost them up the rankings. Shot at the Rising Star title, or of course the NGW Championship. What are you talking about right now, Soul? Talking about corruption and slave labor? And this man right here, you know, Chase Matthews, the personification of perfection. I'd say this man, the personification of badassery, a former MMA competitor so far, unbeaten one-on-one. And that deadly triangle choke of his that nobody except for TZ Mass has been able to escape from. Wow, Bateman. You're talking about the new Trios champions that way? No, TZ is technically Trios champion. He was on the team. He missed his flight. And he didn't show up. But he is technically Trios champion now. Hopefully he doesn't miss his flight next week when they have to defend the titles against the BRC on Monday Night Fusion. Man, what an opportunity for Mr. Extreme and Shane Ridley and TZ Mass. Going to be able to compete on the flagship show. They are still NGW superstars, but now as champions, they will be able to appear for as long as they have the titles on Fusion and on pay-per-view. Ascended 6. Just 6 weeks away. If they can keep a hold of the titles, man. Yeah, they should just keep purposely forcing TZ to miss his flight. Keep switching his ticket. And last but not least is the Japanese-oriented Gary Reed, who himself is also a pretty nasty submission expert. Remember that armbar of his, he ended the career of Twisted with it. Made it to the finals of the NGW Championship Tournament, but was unable to put down J Money. Yeah, Kent just needed it. Now he just has the United States title left. That's the only championship he hasn't held. Well, here we go. This triple threat matchup getting underway. These three men, the furthest thing from friends, but they were tag team partners 2 weeks ago. Any remnants of that, I'm sure, are gone as they all look to bolster their own positioning in the NGW Championship rankings. Gary Reed can immediately go taunt as Will Ford there had a head scissors firing off some elbows. Got an unexpected elbow himself. Scoop slam overhead, drops down behind though. Does Ford an elbow to the side of the head as now it's Chase Matthews who decides to take a moment for the benefit of those with flash photography. Jumping complete shot by Will Ford. Chase Matthews with a big time neck breaker. This is that drop kick. Look at these nasty strikes. Like I said, coming from Japan. When you're competing over there, you learn to take those kind of shots with a pinch of salt. You know they're gonna hurt. And Chase Matthews trying to recuperate from them as Will Ford continues to get the work. Irish whip rebounds, does the personification of perfection, pure perfection. A discus form smash, and Gary Reed with a catapult European uppercut. And now, guys, with Chase out of it, ringside, Will, who's an MMA expert, can he find a way to escape, or will he be forced to submit with this armbar? Well, Chase Matthews saves him, but Will Ford not exactly giving him a thank you. Hurricanrana instead decides to taunt. Remember, there are rope breaks effective. That's shouldn't be. Slides back into the ring, forearm smash to the chest into a front headlock. Will Ford just hanging out in a triple threat. There are no countouts and disqualifications. I guess there are rope breaks though. Oh, Gary Reed like, hey fam, why you gotta break up my move? Jeez, Will Ford just unloading. My God, holy shit. Now Chase comes in like, let me get a little piece of him, fam. Gary Reed shakes off the cobwebs and a beady aura's waiting for him. After Hurricanrana again. There to Matthews, drops down to one knee. I'm not surprised. Will Ford probably has the best stamina of these three men, but he just swung for the fences on Reed there. Now I don't know exactly what the plan is, as he has Chase in his grasps. Gary Reed slides back into the battle. Irish whip to the corner now. Will Ford going to be taken out with a nice lucha DDT. Leaving Gary Reed and Matthews alone. Catapult European uppercut. I love how Reed wastes no time, and he doesn't play around. He wants to get the job done, and unless Will Ford can get up in time, there's that armbar. Locked in, hyperextending the arm. Matthews gonna have no choice but to tap out, and he does before Will Ford can stop him. Will getting back in the ring just in time to see the matchup come to an end. The Dragon, Gary Reed, is back and picks up a much-needed victory for himself. But that nasty armbar. I gotta feel bad for Matthews in that matchup. He was in there with two. Either way, he was not gonna leave the matchup 100%. He was either gonna get caught in that armbar or the triangle choke by Ford. I like how Ford put his hands up like, hey, what up, man? I ain't got no beef. He doesn't want a broken arm. Gary Reed, victorious in this triple threat match. And I'm sure wants to work his way back up to a shot at the NGW title. The title he was so close to having. Precision marksmanship by Gary Reed. Will Ford just bounced. He truly did not want any sort of trouble with Reed after seeing what he did to Matthews there. Somebody better check on Matthews, guys. It looks like he might have sustained a serious injury to his arm. All right, guys. Co-main event time here for NGW number 10 in a night that has already been pretty wild. What is up, Kyle? What up, Dynamic? Yeah. Some pretty sad news for Damien and the Ken brothers, because we have new trios champions, Mr. Extreme and Shane Ridley, without TZ Massive. When it was a handicap match, Mass missed his flight and didn't make it. Man, just Mr. Extreme and Shane Ridley proving why the superstars of NGW are the future of CMV. What up, Real DM Walton? Hello. All these new people dropping in. Nice to see you. Welcome back, Mark. This is our co-main event and two more debuts. Well, technically on paper, this is the debut of Eddie Larson. Of course, 2 weeks ago, he was involved in a triple threat matchup, but after, I believe it was Stevie Wizard who pinned Elijah Park in that match, Eddie Larson petitioned for General Manager Ken Donahue to clear the loss from his record. Ken Donahue obviously didn't pay too much mind to the petition until Eddie Larson went out of his way to steal the Rising Star title from Stevie Wizard, and in which Larson then made a deal with the GM to give back the championship. In turn, Ken Donahue cleared the slate, and so Eddie Larson is 0-0. Stevie Wizard has his title back, and of course, next week, he defends the championship against the debuting Drake Dunn, the next big thing in NGW. I cannot wait for that. And still our main event to come here tonight, guys. Joey Diaz, Jeremy Baltimore one-on-one to find out the next challenger for Ryan Riley and his NGW championship. And here comes William Sullivan. Wild Willie, he goes by, the younger brother of inaugural trios champion Chris Sullivan, who of course alongside Flashy and JT Fury next week on Fusion going to try to become two-time Trios champions when they challenge the new champs. Shane Ridley, Mr. Extreme, and TZ Mass. Hopefully TZ Mass actually makes it to that match. And before this matchup starts, we've got 2 tweets from Will Ford. First says, LOL, better him than me. I don't need to win multi-man orgies. They don't matter. What matters are those sweet, sweet singles victories. He then follows it up saying, which leads me to one more thing. Next week, I'm going to begin at the, I don't know how to pronounce this, a Joji challenge, an open challenge to everyone in NGW to try and beat a real fighter. So Will Ford issuing an open challenge next week to anybody in the NGW locker room to see if they have what it takes to take him out. Look at this. This matchup begins, and Eddie Larson looking to finish things quickly with a kind of fisherman's driver, if you will. Well, we know that William Sullivan's older brother, Chris Sullivan, is most definitely a hell of a competitor. Let's see if it runs in the family. Oh my God, that cross arm neck breaker. I think I heard the crunch of Sullivan's neck. Eddie Larson now up to the second turnbuckle. The Larsonist, the list-bearing Larsonist, making his official debut. Now this fight gonna spin to the outside. What is up, Bateman, you little piece of juicy fruit? Stomp to the midsection. Eddie Larson right now, guys, in a spot of trouble ringside. Punch to the midsection. Ooh, thrown overhead. Yeah, William Sullivan competing around the world in the independent circuit, but this is certainly the big time. Chris Sullivan pulling some strings to get him an opportunity here in NGW. We're at a count of 7 right now, guys. It would be a real shame for these two debutantes to for the match to go to a double count out, but luckily just before the 8, this matchup returns to the squared circle. William Sullivan, though, trained by Archer Vaughn. Some of you may remember him. He competed for a short while on Fusion at the top of this season, then on Unmatched, and WGW, he had a pretty decent run for a while, but William now looking to show us exactly what he's worth. A lot of people have their eyes on him because of his brother. Ooh, nice! Like a kind of a stunner twist to fake combination. What? Please don't do podcasts. What is that? What? Irish whip into the corner now. Elbow to the side of the head, though. The list-bearing Larsonist gonna use the ring as a weapon here against Wild Willie. Draped over the top row. It's gonna make it hard for him to breathe. Jumping cutter attempted. Sullivan shuts him down, however. Ooh, and now going after the arm. That's an expert way of using the ring to your advantage, almost like a tag team partner. Now to the top rope. Swanton bomb. Not afraid to go high risk. Eddie Larson reeling. And now William Sullivan with the haluva kick. And just like that, Eddie Larson might be done for. The lights are out. Nobody's home. 2. Just a 2 count, though. It's not gonna be the end just yet for William Sullivan. I feel like we did that first, though, Topher. The pre-show and panel is done in character. We used to do it all the time during the live shows as well. You should tell those other feds not to do it. CMV did it first. Yo, what up, Drake Dunn? Glad to have you stopping for our co-main event here on NGW number 10. Of course, Drake Dunn, the next big thing, debuts next week right here on NGW. And a Rising Star Championship match against Stevie Wizard Our main event still to come tonight, however. Joey Diaz and Jeremy Baltimore are going to be going one-on-one. Number 1 contendership for the NGW title on the line. Only a 1 count there for Wild Willie over Larson, who has been struggling in this matchup so far. Willie to the top rope once again. This is an interesting... Ooh! Nice body splash. I thought he might be going for another swanton. I was going to say that positioning is not exactly what he would like it to be. Now these elbows to the chest. Eddie Larson went through all that effort to get his record cleared to go 0-0, and now he's getting his ass handed to him. Pardon my French. By Wild Willie here. Brought up to his feet. You can tell that Sullivan is feeling the effects of this matchup, and a pump handle driver. A lot of drivers I'm noticing in the arsenal of Larson. Irish whip though. Oh, that is not where Larson wants to be. Up on the top rope. That's not exactly a destination. Oh my God. What is Sullivan sizing up for here? Butterfly suplex from the High Red District. Into the pin now, and 1, 2. Oh my, talk about your close calls. And Sullivan going so far as to argue with referee Perry White here. But the official calling it down the middle. That was not a 3. Snapmare. Elbow to the face. Staggers Sullivan just a bit. Allows Eddie to close the distance. Ooh, that was... I don't think I've ever seen it. It was like a kind of a modified F5, if you will. Fireman's carry, sit out face buster. Oh, he calls this the world's greatest punch. Cleaning Sullivan's clock. And now that's out of woo as he goes for a figure 4 leg lock. One of the truly most excruciating submission holds in the game, and Sullivan writhing in agony. But look at that, look at that, look at the turn. The momentum against Eddie Larson, and now the pain being inflicted to the Larsonist. Both men hobbling on one knee now. Spinning soul kick, forearm smash, caught though by Larson. Hook to the jaw, forearm smash first. Just a bit quicker, goes for a takedown. Gut wrench suplex instead. And Larson sees his opening. Goes for the world's greatest kick. But Sullivan did his homework. Elbow to the knee, and again goes for that arm. Tying it up in the ropes. Oh, hello, the kick. No, now Larson takes it back. Back and forth they go, tip for tap, vying for the upper hand. It's a reversal fest ensuing in our co-main event, and they're doing it a whole lot on the show. 2K messing with us. Well, it definitely seems as though Sullivan has made a target of Eddie Larson's arms. I don't know if he's going to be setting up for a submission of some kind or not. Now we got a pump handle toss. Suplex variation. Desperation pin at this point in the matchup. Both these men. Oh, I thought might be it right there. Again, going to try to unload some elbows, but Larson fights back up to a vertical base. A forearm smash going to stun Sullivan. Not for very long, though. Immediately throws Eddie overhead with that fireman's carry. Irish whip to the corner. You can tell that Sullivan is tired. His shoulders are slumped. But as he puts Eddie Larson on the top rope again, Larson this time says no way. And oh! Went for some sort of like rolling sidekick instead. Wow, I am a big Sullivan fan. What a powerbomb reversal. Kick to the middle of the bat. And now Sullivan going to show us his his aggressive side with these curb stomps to get it again to the chest. 1, 2, just a 2 count. What is it going to take to keep Eddie Larson down, though? Sullivan can't seem to find the key to victory. He's going to take a moment to pander to this NGW universe, feeding off their energy momentarily, but the time that he wastes, Eddie Larson going to try to use to get back up to his feet, using the ropes to do so, but Sullivan stops that from happening, and now a lot of butterfly suplexes. Oh, nice shot of Eddie Larson's crotch right there. That's what I like to see. Drop down on his derriere, Eddie Larson. Ooh, nice action roll, though. Who knows what Eddie Larson's going to do? We're in it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Eddie Larson refused to debut until he finished reading off his list, the list of things that he's better at than everybody else. And Stevie Wizard kept interrupting him, and finally Larson did finish the list, and again with that straitjacket neckbreaker, man. That is so dangerous, and it's going to be the perfect setup for Larson to bring home the victory in his debut. The world's greatest kick. Oh my God! Yes! I am Sullivan's #1 fan. That was the greatest reversal I've ever seen. Simply, what a match! I didn't think the opener, the Trios Championship match, would be beat, but this is coming close. Oh my God, now where the hell is Wild Willie going? To the top rope, baby. Swanton bomb, but Larson moves out of the way, and that's why it's called high risk. This time it didn't pay off, and it just might cost Sully. No, he stays in it. And here's a tweet, speaking of, from the Rising Star champion, Stevie Wizard. He says he should add losing to his list because he's perfected that, and he just might lose. Well, for the first time, shades of his brother Sullivan, Chris Sullivan, with the final cut. 1, 2, oh, but no. What is it gonna take for William Sullivan to keep down Eddie Larson? Fusion Mountain, my goodness, I have not seen you in a long time, my friend. What is up? I don't think I've seen you since like 2K16 in here. We are in the throes of our co-main event here on NGW. Number 10 still to come. Joey Diaz and Jeremy Baltimore battle for #1 contendership to see who's next in line to fight Ryan Riley for the NGW title. Inverted Frankensteiner just spiking Eddie Larson right on the top of his head. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and that was finally enough to keep Larson down. What a match. And what is Eddie Larson going to do now? In his official debut, he officially loses as Wild Willie Sullivan with a well-deserved victory. Eddie Larson tried throwing everything at this kid, but he was met around every corner. It just seemed like William Sullivan had an answer for everything. William Sullivan has arrived. And I guess the talent really does run in the Sullivan family. What a showing. I'm excited for the future of William Sullivan. And now, guys, event for again, a #1 contendership for the NGW Championship is on the line. It was last week that Ryan Riley became the new NGW champion when he defeated, well, his former best friend, Jay Money. Because remember, after the matchup, Jay Money brutally beat down the Prodigal One, effectively ending whatever friendship they may have had left. Now Ryan Riley, recuperating, has this week off before he prepares to step back on the ring. In 2 weeks' time, he will defend his championship against the winner of this matchup. But next week, guys, just confirmed by General Manager of NGW, Ken Donahue, it will be Jay Money, Ryan Riley, in a non-title, no disqualification rematch. And that, along with Drake Dunn making his debut and challenging Stevie Wizard for the Rising Star Championship. Next week's show is going to be a banger. And this matchup has the potential, a night that has already had some show stealers, to take the cake as the hot commodity of NGW, Joey Diaz, who is unbeaten one-on-one. Been pining for a crack at the NGW Championship since he arrived. Now he has his chance, just one step away, his fingertips. Well, these two men teamed up successfully 2 weeks ago to knock off the Prodigal Prophets, Ryan Riley and Jay Money. There was no friendship between them going into that matchup, though. Any sort of respect, though. These two don't exactly strike me as the type of guys who respect others. Don't think we're going to get a handshake in this matchup, especially with what's on the line. But many people are saying this matchup shouldn't even be happening, that this man, Jeremy Baltimore, should have been made automatically #1 contender after he pinned Jay Money not once but twice when he was champion, cleanly. The ruthless prodigy. Thing around here is that you gotta earn your opportunities. And I don't think Jeremy Baltimore minds all too much about putting down Joey Diaz here today in our main event. All right, here we go. The hot commodity, the ruthless prodigy, Joey Diaz, Jeremy Baltimore, #1 contenders match for the NGW Championship. Let's get it on. Joey Diaz, unbeaten in singles competition. Baltimore cannot say the same, but Baltimore can say that he defeated Jay Money twice, pinned him twice when he was champion. Snap German suplex followed by a whippersnapper. A stunner, shades of our CMV Alpha World Champion Chris Andrews with some revenge. Now Baltimore fires back quickly with that spinning neckbreaker. You can tell that the NGW Universe not exactly big fans of either of these men. A lot of boos getting thrown towards the ring, but an Irish whip and a stiff forearm smash. A googie. A googie. Irish whip out of the apron, and Joey Diaz gonna get a face full of forearm. Tries to follow through with a scoop slam. Gets a knee to the gut, though. These two obviously studying up on one another in a Hell's Gate. Man, this is a brutal submission to get caught up in. Baltimore with an expert counter out of it, though. And that powerbomb, I think, just rock Joey Diaz. Now we get an STF exchanging submissions. Elbow to the side of the head, and both men groggily get up to their feet. That is impressive. Standing German suplex with a glorious looking bridge, tiptoes and all. Joey Diaz, though, not able to continue on the attack. Instead, gonna get a trio of elbows right to the throat almost. Diaz. What happened there? I can't exactly tell you. That was an interesting series of events. Oh, Perry White luckily is okay as Diaz now takes the fight ringside, trying to snap the knee of Jeremy Baltimore in half. Elbow to the lower back connects, now brought up over the shoulder and dropped face first on the ring apron, where of course all the hardest parts of the ring converge, just metal under that sheet, and again goes for the knee of Jeremy Baltimore. Target has been painted by the hot commodity guys, and we're at a count of 6 with an NGW championship shot on the line. Joey Diaz might not want to risk it. Maybe gonna try to take home a count out win, but just before that happens, we return to the squared circle. This matchup carries on as it should. 636 on that is why he is called the hot commodity. Joey Diaz. You know how incredibly athletic you have to be to do something like that? Snapmare now, and the Ruthless Prodigy has not been able to come back after getting dropped face first on the ring apron. Diaz has been in firm control. Now tries for a pin with a lateral press. One, just a 1 count. And Joey Diaz rubs some salt in the wound by telling Baltimore to suck his little sweet Don Johnson. But Baltimore back up to his feet. Woo! I believe Joey Diaz did that earlier in the matchup, trying to mock him now. Jeremy Baltimore building up a head full of steam, big time leaping lariat. And Joey Diaz trying to find some refuge in the corner. Don't know that it's going to work out so well for him. Up on that top rope, the Baltimore Barrage looking to come alive with a stunner. A hangman stunner. And you can see Joey Diaz immediately, eyes glazed over. Jaw might be dislocated. Looking like he's in La La Land. And now the Hammerlock DDT countered into a Northern Light suplex. How awesome was that? But just a 1 count. Diaz maybe playing possum. Jeremy Baltimore in trouble. Joey to bring it home. Gourdbuster GTS knee directly to the face, and Baltimore busted wide open too. 1, 2, 3, and Joey Diaz has become the #1 contender for the NGW Championship. The hot commodity, baby, is gonna get the shot he's been waiting for in 2 weeks. Joey Diaz, Ryan Riley for the NGW Championship. Just as it was looking like Baltimore was building back up to finish off the matchup, Joey Diaz lures him in, and that sharp, cringe-inducing Gourdbuster GTS delivers him the victory. There's what did it. Bam! Baltimore busted wide open and all. Remains unbeaten. 1-on-1. Will that be the case in 2 weeks' time? Are we looking at our next NGW champion? I cannot wait for that matchup, but I also cannot wait for next week, guys, because we have got 2 awesome matches coming your way. Not only will we get Jay Money versus Ryan Riley in a non-title no DQ match, but also Drake Dunn makes his NGW debut, challenges Stevie Wizard for the Rising Star Championship. TZ Mask not by their side. It was a handicap match, and still, what a showing by the rookies. And now we'll see if they can keep the titles and if TZ Mask will actually show up next week on Fusion when they defend the belts against the former champs BRC. But of course, guys, this Sunday is final stand, the last stop for the boys of Fusion before the grandest stage of them all, the show of shows, Ascendant 6, which is officially just 6 weeks away. The second league offensive taking versus, well, of course, all the commands in the chat, exclamation point. We'll give you a link to our website, cmvwrestling.com, exclamation point Discord, exclamation point Twitter. We'll give you links to our social media, all that kind of good stuff. And make sure you do drop a follow so that you know when I go live. And I will catch you guys next time.